Vinny! Welcome to another episode of If I Was a Betting Man. I'm John Tyler, joined as always by my co-host Vinny Buono. How you doing this week, Vinny?
I'm doing great. How's it going over there?
It's going fantastic. Everything is good. The first day of NFL camp has
Yes.
begun. It's
Let's
always a
go.
momentous occasion. We look forward to it every year. I can't tell you how happy I am to have football back in my life. And in honor of football being back, we are so happy to have New York Giants beat writer and NFL columnist for The Record and NorthJersey.com, Art Stapleton, joining us this week. Let's bring him in here. Art.
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
We are doing so well. Welcome to the pod and the stream. So happy to have you, Art. So you are entrenched in West Virginia?
The Greenbrier Resort in lovely White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Yes, we are down here. So ignore the chimes in the background. I have no idea where they're coming from. It's Giants. They've gone from the Meadowlands to I'm not sure who's buried down here in White Sulphur Springs, but they are down here for John Harbaugh's first training camp.
It's like if you're going to dinner at McDonald's and you find they're renovating it, so you go to 11 Madison Park instead. You're at a luxury resort in West Virginia for Giants training camp. I mean, are you getting a massage? Are you having a martini?
Let's pump the brakes. You guys know, as we like to always say, we cover millionaires and billionaires. We are not millionaires and billionaires. So while the team and everybody is entrenched here at the Greenbrier, this is where I work. I lived for 12 days at the Fairfield Inn over in adjacent town down here in West Virginia. So, I'd say that as much as anything else is going to be my week and a half down here. And I got to be honest, the Giants are always accused of being a franchise that's stuck in the past. Well, the Greenbrier, from what I understand, is stuck in the past because there are a lot of stories about the rooms here at the resort. Let's just say we're not talking the Breakers down in Palm Beach. If you want to check out on social media, a couple players, Art Green of the Giants, put up the decor in the rooms is crazy, like old fashioned, to the point where I think we're camping at grandma's for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, everything out here is beautiful. The mountains, the picturesque fields here. It's awesome.
Right.
From what I hear inside, even though the price is there for the Greenbrier, I don't know. I think maybe they need a little retooling and brought into the modern era the way the Giants claim to have been at this point.
Well, I bet the players are happy, though, because, I mean, they get to get out of town a little bit. But I remember when the Giants used to practice at SUNY Albany and they did their preseason. Yep. That's where I went to college. Yep. So I was always really surprised to see all the Giants buses pull in look at this.
Greenbrier water, guys.
I bet it's delicious. I bet it's fantastic.
Tastes like it's from 1986.
Well, let's get into the Giants a little bit. So so far, I mean, it was only the first day, and what not sure what you can get from day one, but coming out of mini camp, coming into training camp, interacting with the staff, the team. What has surprised grizzled, hardened Giants beat reporter Art Stapleton so far at this year's camp?
Well, it's funny, guys, because I'm sure you saw the viral video that went around last week of John Harbaugh's introduction to the team and the team meeting back on the first day of the offseason program. That was April 7th, okay? And they said it on the video. And it was just, I'm happy to be a Giant. I'm a New York Giant, and a lot of people were criticizing him, saying it fell flat. I took the opposite, and I said, you know what? This is Harbaugh knowing the moment, and the moment was not getting ready to play a game. It was not getting ready to practice. They weren't even going to be allowed on the field for 2 weeks. So this was his introduction. Not everybody follows guys in their introductory press conference, which was in January. So I think Harbaugh took that moment to try to, say, look, guys, I am happy to be here. You should take pride in what we're going to do together. And I think that's what Harbaugh was up against, and it's instant credibility. The Giants have had 4 head coaches since Tom Coughlin left in 2015. And the reality is that, they look at it and say, who can we bring in to make everybody kind of sit up a little straighter in that office and in that room? And John Harbaugh is that guy. So I think all eyes are on him to see how he does it. I think he's detailed. I think he's convicted, and he knows what he wants. He knows what a winner looks like. And it's only day one, and you could almost just sense that oozing from him. I don't think the Giants' previous coaches, and look, I thought they all had positives and negatives. I mean, Ben McAdoo made the playoffs. In 2016, things fell apart. Pat Shurmur, look, he got the most out of Daniel Jones back at the time as a rookie and had everybody believe in him. Then you switch to Joe Judge, and he had his moments. Brian Daboll certainly had his moments. Definitely. I don't think they could have come down here to Greenbrier and done this without a coach like John Harbaugh, because he sees everything, he feels everything, and I think that's kind of the biggest thing, is that no one is questioning the head coach right now, and I think that should carry some optimism for the Giants here moving forward.
I think that's interesting. The things that people want to point out so far, because it is so early, there's not really a lot to call out. But Daboll was much more concerned with injuries in camp and practice, so he minimized the number of practices, preseason practices. And Harbaugh's gone the opposite way, and he's maximizing. He's having as many practices as the union's going to allow him to have, which I think is an interesting strategy, much more of an iron sharpens iron approach to the preseason. Daboll was criticized for not necessarily having the team ready week one. And Harbaugh, it seems like, is out to avoid that from day one.
Yeah, you know what? It's 10 out of 11 days they are practicing, right? And you nailed it, though, John. The reality is that they are bound by the rules of the collective bargaining agreement that has basically used week one of training camp as an acclimation period. So we saw it the other day. Carolina has a star player go out with I think it was an ACL, and all of a sudden it's the NFLPA is going to investigate that there was too much contact. And so Harbaugh would love to have these guys out here, twice a day, 2.5 hours, banging heads. It's going to be a little bit of an acclimation project for them as well. So for the first 5 days, it's running around in shorts. It's basically like a redo of the spring. I think next week is when you will see the true Harbaugh. They only have one off day here at the Greenbrier, which is kind of weird to start.
It is weird.
And Brian Burns joked today, I don't know, maybe we'll go fishing on the off day on Sunday. But other than that, it's all football here for them. And I think that's a good thing, like you said, for this team. But I will say, Daboll was criticized for the country club and all that stuff. The Giants have been suffered by injury after injury after injury. So the part of the fan base, part of the media, even internally, they have been struggling with that question of how much is too much, when do you pull back? And they have failed on many fronts to be able to figure out that injury equation. And I don't know necessarily if it's bad luck. I don't know if it's, you change your process because you swing one direction, because that's kind of what happened to Daboll, that they swung to the point where they wanted players to be healthy in week one. So they cut back on training camp. And then it's, well, you're not ready for week one. John Harbaugh is going to do what John Harbaugh wants to do. Yes, he's going to listen to science. Yes, he's going to listen to analytics. He's going to listen to the doctors. But John Harbaugh has a blueprint for 18 years that worked. Despite what the Ravens fans want to say now, it worked. that Giants would kill for that
Absolutely.
kind of consistency.
For sure. I mean, it is interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how it bears out. The Giants right now are predicted to be in last in the NFC East, which to me is a little bit surprising, considering Harbaugh's pedigree. We know every all the key players on the Giants roster. Maybe not for on-field accolades, and maybe a little bit of off-field shenanigans. At times. So it's going to be interesting to see how that bears out between the making these guys practice to the maximum as opposed to Dayball's approach, which left them open for some criticism. All right, let's talk about the rookies. Obviously, Arvel Reese is the guy of guys who's expected to have an impact right away. I'm going to try not to butcher this name, but Mauigoa, I believe, is how it's pronounced.
Maui
From
Noah.
Maui
Think of
Noah.
the D as an N. Maui Noah.
I knew I was going to mess it up. It's going to take time.
You're
I'm
not
going to
the first,
butcher.
you won't be the last.
No, 100%. I'll probably and wait till you hear Vinny talk. He's going to butcher anything that comes out of his mouth. He struggles with my name, and it's John. You also have Malachi Fields, who he's an interesting player. He was a second round pick who might be able to make an impact right away. And then, the cornerback, Colton Hood, cornerbacks can have an impact right away, and they can also be projects. So what do you foresee with this rookie class?
I think this is the third year where they've got a rookie class that, has talent, has guys that, you can really look at and say they can really be cornerstones of this franchise. I mean, Arvel Reese from day one, Francis Mauigoa, CC is how they'll end up calling him during the year. That's his nickname from American Samoa. The guy gets shouted out by The Rock on draft night. I mean, that's all you need to know. So those two guys will start immediately, and I think Fields has a good chance of getting a lot of reps in this offense. One of the reasons is because Harbaugh and Greg Roman, who is going to really run the run game here. He's a senior assistant, so he's not a coordinator, but we know Greg Roman and his running attack from Baltimore to even in with the Chargers last year. I mean, he's always been top notch. I think Fields will have a position there, and I think Hood, you nailed it too. Look, I go to Reese. I don't see why, if what happened with the Browns last year with Carson, I'm trying to remember. I'm going to butcher his name. Was it Schlesinger? Is that how we say his last name?
Yeah.
Schlesinger? Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I thought it sounded dumb by doing it. But he proved that you can be an off-ball linebacker and win Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's where Arvel Reese is sitting, I think. And playing next to Tremaine Edmonds, I think Arvel Reese has a good chance that by the middle of the season, people will start talking about, last year Abdul Carter came in with all the hype and then faded because he didn't have the statistics to back it up. He had a good season, better than most people would say, but he didn't have the stats. I think Reese will have the impact just because I think this defensive front is going to be better, and I think Reese will kind of make a statement early on. So it'll be interesting. I mean, look, there's a reason why General Manager Joe Schoen, who was attached with Brian Daboll, came in. Daboll got fired, Schoen stayed, and Schoen got a contract extension. The draft and the way they've set up the personnel department, they believe this team has better personnel than they've shown the last 2 years. And that's why Schoen is staying with John Harbaugh to move forward. So we may see a Les Snead situation, when Snead was with Sean McVay. Before McVay, Snead was, he's a G, he's going to get fired. He's not going to be there. And all of a sudden that happened. So that's kind of where I see the rookie class. I definitely think they're going to contribute this year. And they've got 3 in a row that I think the Giants should be proud of.
One of the interesting things about this that I was surprised to read, I think I read it on The Athletic last week, was that one of the reasons why Harbaugh came to New York was because of Dart. He wanted to coach Jackson Dart, which I think is really interesting because, similar style quarterback to what he had in Baltimore, but not quite there yet. A young guy, a guy that's got a lot to learn, it seems like. But maybe to me, not an obvious franchise cornerstone. Let me put it that way for my money. And you have another guy on the team named Malik Neighbors who is coming off a devastating injury. And the last time we talked, you actually had some information that despite the media jumping all over the second surgery, and that that he was coming along well, and that the anticipation was he was going to be healthy for the regular season, and they didn't put him on the PUP list, which is very encouraging. Not necessarily for week 1, but maybe you see him like week 2, week 3, something like that. Talk to me a little bit about Jackson Dart and what you foresee there, and how important Neighbors is going to be to that attack.
Oh, yeah, tremendous. He'll definitely be a part here. And it's funny, you recalled that. It's day 1 of training camp. And before I get to Dart, Malik Neighbors was out there in positional drills today, catching passes from Dart. Neighbors, a month ago, you would have thought he'd be in the coffin next to The Undertaker. And like The Undertaker, he's basically risen. And, you watch Neighbors today. If you see some of the videos that are out there, I've got some on our YouTube page at northjersey.com, put some out, put a video together on our site, northjersey.com. Check it out. Everything you wanted to see from Odell Beckham Jr. and Malik Neighbors today. So if you're an LSU fan, if you're a fan of, you want to do some scouting for fantasy, Neighbors looked great today. He really did. And I think mentally was the shift that he got somewhere in June, that when you're in this rehab from a devastating knee injury, like, it can become a dark place, and you need to be able to fight your way through it. And Harbaugh called it a slog. It was the slog of recovery.
Yeah.
And everybody jumped on it and said, he's not going to come back. Look, it's a devastating injury. It's an ACL. He had a meniscus repair. But don't think that you can't come back from that. So it's only day 1. We keep prefacing that. But I got to tell you, Malik Neighbors looked like if you had to play a game on Sunday, I don't know if they'd give him the green light, but he was doing a lot more cutting, running today than I think anyone would have anticipated. And
let's get aggregated.
That's huge news for Jackson Dart.
Huge.
Because Jackson Dart played 1 quarter with Malik Neighbors, 2 catches, 20 yards, and then he tears his knee up against the Chargers in Jackson Dart's first start last year, only start with Malik Neighbors and Cam Skattebo in the lineup. Look, Dart's learning how to play in the pocket with a new OC in Matt Nagy and a new quarterbacks coach in Brian Callahan. They want him to play more under center. They want him to be able to force his way through progressions, and this is the time to do it. I think what I like about Dart is, for all the outside stuff that people see, from the introducing the president to, and all that controversy that happened, and everything that happened with, look, a viral video, he threw a ball off a boat and hit a friend on a jet ski. He did that last year, but people didn't care because he's not the starting quarterback of the Giants. And then he takes a flip into the water. It's Jackson Dart is the quarterback of the Giants. He is a good-looking guy. He knows how to work it. He's got aura, and sponsors love him. So they're going to basically pour into him. I understand the criticism of, look at this guy, he should just focus on football. Why is he worrying about all the off-season stuff, all the off-the-field stuff? I really think that he is focused on the football stuff. It's just, Crocs isn't going to pay us a video to have Jackson Dart sit there in Crocs watching film. So they do a whole Step Brothers skit with he and Cam Skattebo, and it goes viral online, and Crocs is really happy. So I say, for a lot of the young players now, as long as you do what you need to do on the field, and John Harbaugh is not going to put up with a quarterback who's not focused on football. And I think that's kind of why he liked Jackson Dart, is that going all the way back to January, when they met on Harbaugh's interview at the facility, Jackson Dart got in a room with John Harbaugh just to pick their brains. I was told that people from the front office had to come break up the meeting. Harbaugh still wasn't the coach yet. He still hadn't been given the job. because he had to get back on the plane to head back home to Baltimore because he had an interview the next day. Now they ended up canceling the interviews with the Titans and the Falcons and all that stuff. So you guys bonded right from the beginning, and I think Harbaugh likes that. I think, you talk Lamar Jackson, pure skill, talent. It's not the same as Jackson. It's different, Jackson Dart. But there was always the question of, how much, Lamar didn't want to be in OTAs, and Lamar didn't want to be there in the facility. Lamar wanted to show up in training camp and then put in the work. I'm not saying that Lamar has a work ethic problem, because I don't think he does. I mean, the proof is in the production. But I think Harbaugh likes the idea that he's got a quarterback who, if he walks down the hallway and looks in the quarterback room, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty likely that Jackson Dart is sitting there with his coaches trying to go through and get better. So he knows it. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I think Harbaugh has a little bit of chip on his shoulder coming out of Baltimore, hearing all the things about how, finally Lamar is going to reach his potential because John Harbaugh is elsewhere. So I think those two guys certainly, if you can get those guys to play at the top of their level and really be at the top of the league, whether it's 10, 5, 15, wherever that falls in year two, I think, that's why the Giants will be excited.
Wow, good stuff. Two quick things before we let you go are, one, have you heard anything, the World Cup, obviously, there's a lot talked about the turf at MetLife. A lot of people attribute Malik Neighbors' injury to that. And the World Cup comes and they get grass. It's a wild. I'm sure the NFL Players Association sent a few letters because
you didn't see the blitz during the World Cup final on social media. All the players, hey, look at this really nice grass field that soccer players get to play for. Right. We'd really like that.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, have you heard anything else at camp about that? Any rumblings?
They haven't really talked about it down here because, hey, look, beautifully, they have beautifully curated grass fields here at the Greenbrier. The Giants
don't get used to them.
Yeah. No, exactly. Giants practice on grass back home too. They have a field house with the turf from MetLife and grass. Look, I think if there's a way to do it, I think they would be willing to do it. I think MetLife having two stadiums, being one of only two stadiums in the NFL, to have games essentially every weekend, to put grass in there, and you worry about if you don't do it the right way and you still have your concerts and your events, what is it going to look like in December and January? I mean, anybody who remembers back in the year 2000 and 2001, the Giants did experiment with grass in the old Giants Stadium, and it was a disaster. Now, just because it failed then shouldn't mean that with technology all these years later that it should fail again. But yes, it's an expense. Should the expense be taken for the health of the players? Sure, absolutely. I think ultimately it's going to come on the NFLPA. Can the union get together when this next CBA is up and get on the same page and say, this is our priority. We want grass in every stadium. And
it should be.
And fight for it. Don't just think you're going to send out some photos on Twitter and say, we need the fans to beg for it. They're not going to budge. Some owners will, but you can't force owners who have paid millions of dollars for stadiums to now add that stuff. The players don't have the hammer. If the CBA is up and they can force the hand by threatening to walk or to lock out a sport or that kind of thing, that's a different story. So do I think it gets done? I think ultimately they probably will move to a point where they will all have grass. But I'm not sure that it's not walking and carrying the water for owners by saying it's a complicated issue. It's a lot more complicated than just leave the grass in from the World Cup. They don't even use the same surface for the grass. So
it's millions of dollars of renovations to install grass in that stadium. It's a major investment. That being said, you're killing the return on your investment of these players. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, how much, say it's a $10 million renovation, which is probably high. It's got to be worth it for the amount you're playing, your most expensive players are the guys that are most likely to get injured by that turf at MetLife. So to me, they should just bite the bullet and get it done.
Understood. I mean, I hear it. I definitely hear it. Again, it's not a perfect solution, but they should be able to figure out how to make it work at this point and make grass work in all stadiums.
So we've held you for a long time, Art. You want to have a quick word about SummerSlam before you go?
Of course.
What are you looking forward to? And if your mic works, I'm not sure if it does. If you want to ask any questions about SummerSlam, what are you looking forward to most about SummerSlam this year, Art? Coming right up.
Well, I mean, I think you got to go Oba and Brock, right? I mean, I was lucky enough to be at SummerSlam last year. It was awesome at MetLife Stadium. No turf issues for SummerSlam. But because they had the turf and it was in August, they were able to put a ring in the middle of MetLife Stadium and not worry about tearing up the grass. So
100%.
just another point of that. So it was awesome last year, 2 nights. Some disappointment last year. I really didn't like the cage match last year. I thought it was awful. So I'm more encouraged at the Hell in the Cell between Oba and Brock. I mean, Oba's got to win. I mean, I think this has got to be Brock's last match in Minneapolis. I think that would be awesome. I want to see Chelsea Green win the interim world championship for the women. I'd love to see that. I think, let Jade and Charlotte cancel each other out. Maybe Tiff goes over because she could be, I think she said she stole it from Becky, right? She's Tiffy 2 belt. She didn't say Tiffy 2 belts the other night. She said something else, but she's got the U.S. title. She's from Minneapolis too. I don't think that's been talked up enough. So maybe she wins the match. And then I love Cody and I love Punk. So I just want to see a great match. I want to see a match that rivals Roman and Punk from WrestleMania, and whoever wins, I just hope they come out with good stories from the two of them and move forward. And then one other thing I was saying before we came on, can we please hook up Carmelo Hayes and use him the right way? I mean, Carmelo Hayes should be on the SummerSlam card. He should be in that match with Corbin and Trick. And the fact that Corbin could come back and now squeeze Carmelo out of that match, that annoys me to no end.
That is annoying.
What do you think, Vinny? Should we put our money on Cody Rhodes over CM Punk in this thing?
Well, what I was going to say to who do you think needs it more to move their storyline forward to win?
It depends on who the storyline is with, right? I mean, if Sammy wins, they've set it up where now Sami Zayn would be the number one contender by beating Finn. So then all of a sudden, does Sammy come and cost Punk or cost Cody? I don't know how that's going to happen. And then what's going to happen with Gunther? I don't see the fascination with Gunther. I'm not a big fan.
I agree.
I don't think he needs to be in the title picture. I think Punk probably keeps the belt, and I think Cody is going to have to chase a little bit more.
Right. I feel like maybe Cody needs a heel turn, man.
What was that?
Cody needs a heel turn.
Yeah. I think they can work the edges of that, like they did with Roman and Punk. Who's the edge? Who's the bad guy? Who's the heel? Who's the face? I think they can work the edges on that and make it happen.
Art, thank you so much. We held you for way too long. I appreciate you sticking around with us.
Guys.
It's a real pleasure to talk to you every time. We appreciate your information, and let's get aggregated on this Malik Neighbors story, huh?
Sounds great, guys. Let's go.
Thanks
Have
a lot.
Good night. All right, man.
You too.
Enjoy your time there.
Thanks. See you.
Bye. Man, what a great dude Art is. Love Art. As I said, Art is he's the New York Giants beat writer and NFL columnist for The Record and NorthJersey.com. Check out his stuff on NorthJersey.com. If you like that inside information on the New York Football Giants, he's got the dirt. He's there on the ground, and he's got the the resume. Like the guy's been doing it a long time.
Long
He knows
time.
what he's talking about, and he knows the story. Like he cuts right to the story every time. He cuts me off and tells me I'm wrong when I'm trying to lead him down the wrong path. And I think Art's really good at what he does. Okay.
I'm curious if that hotel's like The Shining.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I saw a couple pictures on Instagram this morning, and it pretty interesting stuff that they're at this place. I mean, it's not the first time the NFL has had a training camp there. There's a bunch of teams. There's like 6 teams or something that have done their training camp at this place in West Virginia.
Oh, really? I need to look at the record of those teams that made the playoffs.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. It's Browns, Titans. It's not
Okay.
It's not ideal, but
probably not an ideal type. All those teams probably didn't make the playoffs.
no, I don't think you're looking for some sort of reverse curse that the Giants are going to be able to cash in on. No, I don't think it's going to happen. But that being said, it's going to be interesting. We talked a lot about the Malik Neighbors injury and Jackson Dart and Harbaugh's faith in Dart, which, is really surprising to me. I mean, did you see last season? Did you see things from Dart that made you think this guy's my franchise guy? You're a Giants fan.
100%. I am all in on Dart. I think Dart is going to wind up after this season top 5 to top 10 quarterback in the league.
What? No.
Yes, 100%. Dude, I think look at what Dart did when he was healthy. When the Giants had some games that they should have won that they lost because of just bad defense. Dart played good. Dart made players that we're never going to hear of again look good. And now that if Neighbors can stay healthy with Lively, there's a lot of guys that the Giants are going to be a playoff team this year.
I mean, so if you believe that, Vinny, believe that, let's just do it. Let's just do a quick walk down betting line lane and see. As it's crazy because some sites don't have this up, which drives me nuts. But if you look at the divisional odds for the division winners, right? When you scroll down to the AFC East and the NFC East. I mean, the Giants are
165.
The Giants are in a distant fourth.
What, plus 750?
So the one I'm looking at is plus 600.
Okay.
I've seen it at as much as 800. I mean, it's all over the map, but everybody agrees that they're the fourth most likely team. This is a team with a new head coach in John Harbaugh, a proven coach, a coach that nobody has bad things to say about Harbaugh. Nobody's like, I would prefer my coach to smoke a cigar after a win instead of deliver a stirring Bible verse. Everybody is like, Harbaugh is the guy.
Yeah.
And yet here they sit at fourth place with Washington, plus 460. The Cowboys at plus 235 and the embattled Philadelphia Eagles at plus 115. People are calling for Sirianni's job. The Eagles were a first round loss, a wild card round loss last season. The rest of these teams didn't make it. Dallas, pretty good offense last year. They found a level of consistency on offense that they haven't had, I think, in a while under Schottenheimer, who it didn't seem like they even wanted as their coach.
No.
But who seemed to deliver some consistency. They lost some of the, one of the best players they ever had. And I mean, Dallas is a team that's spicy, but flawed, a bit flawed, and you got a lot to prove in Dallas. The Giants have players that people like. People like Scatterbo.
And listen, new coaches do well in the league. Let's look at last year. I can name 3 off the top of my head. The Jaguars, the Bears with Ben Johnson, and the Patriots with Vrabel. Teams that were in last place the year before that made the playoffs or won their division. So this is a recurring thing that happens in the NFL. New coaches come
Absolutely.
in, change a culture. You get that bump. I think the Giants have pieces in play if they can stay healthy, and that's going to be the big thing. Can the Giants stay relatively healthy, and can they get through that first month of the season? That the schedule is again relatively hard, but I honestly think week 1 is going to be big. If they can beat the Cowboys week 1 at home, that's a big jump off for a good season.
And how bad do they lose to the Rams on week 2?
You know,
Listen,
I'd rather play the Rams early in the season than late.
100%, 100%.
So,
but they're going to be absolutely brutal in the early games. They are going to hurt players. Their defense is going to be, all of the NFL insider reporters love to say the phrase, the culture of violence. Honestly, I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to have what they call a culture of violence. I think they're going to be a brutal defensive team. I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to be, week 1. I do not want to be around anywhere near the Rams on week 1.
For sure, but I'm saying if you're going to get the Rams, I'd rather get them early. The Giants, and I think if I don't know, I should have asked this to Harbaugh, but I don't know about Harbaugh enough. But I think Harbaugh's going to come in, and he's going to be like, know what?
Yeah,
we're going to figure out. The Giants for the last 10 years have started slow, 0-3, 0-2, 1-2, and I think the big bulletin board is let's start good. Let's really get the season going off the ground. If we could be 1-0, 2-0, maybe 2-1, 3-1, whatever it is, where we could get some momentum going. I think that's what the Giants do more than anything.
No, he's going to come out swinging, and I think when we were talking with Art about his maximizing the preseason practice, that's what he's got his eye on.
Yeah,
he's got his eye on no wasted time, no wasted games, and Daboll. I don't hate Daboll. I think Daboll was, I think he needs to, his next job, maybe, I think, well, I don't know about that. I think he created his own bad luck a little bit, but I think his next job, he's going to be more effective. And we'll see if that bears out, because I think he's definitely going to get another head coach job. But that being said, I think that his preseason plan, his avoid injury plan, hurt him more than it helped him.
Well, I'll say this about Daboll. They made the mistake with Danny Jones, and the Colts are about to make the same mistake too.
Wow. I don't know. Who knows how much Daboll. I don't remember reading articles saying that he had Daniel Jones as his guy. I don't remember reading that. Or was it Joe?
One good season, and then they were like, "Oh, we have to pay him."
Listen, I'm a Miami fan. I know what it's like to pay a quarterback that sucks.
I know.
We're going to be paying for it by having a horrific product on the field this year. We'll see what happens. Maybe Hafley can really work some genius, some magic, and we'll see.
And I know you're going to disagree with me with this, but I think Odell, as a veteran on this team, is going to help this team. I'm not even saying with numbers. I just think him being on this team is going to help this team as a leadership.
A guy known for his leadership. Yeah. Okay, let's stick around and talk a little bit more about the division winners, because this is some interesting stuff. We've been talking about it a little bit. The Buffalo Bills are favorites to win the AFC East at -136 is what I'm looking at on this site. Boy, I don't know about that. While the rest of the division, the Patriots are right behind them at +125. I think that's a pretty good bet right now. The Jets are behind them at +1900. They're not doing anything.
Oh, see,
and the Dolphins are.
The Jets are going to be.
You think the Jets are going to be spicy?
I think they will be spicy. And listen, the Bills have made bad decision after bad decision with the coach, with those new uniforms. The Bills are not going to be as good as people think.
I saw you saying the uniforms were terrible.
That's terrible.
I didn't even look at them. I don't even know what they are. Meanwhile, the Dolphins in the AFC, if you really believe the Dolphins are good, you're going to make a lot of money because they're +4,000 to win the division.
Whoa.
+4,000. You know what team is worse to win the division? Because there's only one.
Yes, the Cardinals.
plus 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals have no shot in that division
I mean, they've hamstrung themselves worse than the Dolphins have,
for sure.
um, with bad spending. But man, plus 10,000. Good God, that is just absolutely rough. Okay, let's go to the AFC North. The Ravens, negative 112, new head coach, same team. They, are basically trotting out the same starters they had last year, which means they got a talented group.
For sure.
They haven't been
The group's
enough.
also a year older.
I mean, Isaiah Likely is on your team, and you know, I, the you see flashes from him like, oh, this guy is incredible, and then
Yeah.
you think, wait, is he still on the team? What? No targets today?
But listen,
Like, what's going on?
Hendrickson's a big pickup for them.
Yeah.
But for my money, and I don't know what they are, I feel like the Bengals are the pick in that division.
So the Ravens are negative 112. The Bengals are behind them at plus 184. The Steelers, not a lot of belief in the Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy Steelers at plus 510.
Oh, wow.
Good article in The Athletic this week about Mike McCarthy going back home. He's a Pittsburgh boy, grew up near the stadium in Pittsburgh. Bit of a tear-jerking article. And then you've got the Browns at plus 2,100, which is, I mean, that just tells you how bad the Dolphins are. The Browns are plus 2,100. They don't have offense.
No.
They just don't have it. So the Dolphins plus 4,000, I mean, it's a tougher division, but I mean, boy, it's just brutal. It's just bad soup in Miami. It's bad soup. This is my new phrase I'm trying to catch. I'm trying to get caught on. Bad soup. I just made it up right now. I don't know what I'm talking about. AFC South.
Have you ever
Favorites.
had a bad soup?
Yes, you have bad soup more often than you have good soup.
That's not true. We'll have this
I think
conversation
that's-
another day.
Why? Let's have it right now.
Bad soup.
What could be more important than soup?
I want you to name a bad soup you've ever had. Seriously.
Do you know how many times I've ordered clam chowder only to be extremely disappointed in what was put in front of me? I love clam chowder.
Okay, but what made that clam chowder so bad? I mean, clam chowder is delicious. You can't mess up clam chowder.
Sure you can.
No.
If it's too thick, too gloopy, not enough clams, I need vegetables in there. I need potatoes in there. I don't want to be chewing cream. I want it to be
bacon as well, right?
Gotta have, not necessarily bacon. I will take some guanciale, a different pork product, something a little bit maybe more exotic.
Okay.
A little fried prosciutto is delicious in a chowder, and I will happily accept any type of bacon in any food, basically.
Any food? Let me tell you, I don't know if you've been down there in a while, and I'm not. This is just it. Shockingly, I have this shirt on. Brooklyn clam chowder is amazing. I had it like every time I went for a Knick game, I ate it, and I was very, very, very happy.
You were like, "What's free tonight?" They were like, "Oh, sample our chowder."
No, the chowder is amazing, but no, I think this comes down to the person. I've never had a bad soup in my life.
Well, right. It comes down to the person, and either the person has taste or the person doesn't have taste, and that's going to separate.
You know what I love?
A guy that's worked in restaurants his entire life.
I love cold Campbell soup. I just open the can and I just eat it right out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
And that concludes our segment. A sad story from Vinny.
Try beef long cold out of a Campbell soup. It is so delicious. Delicious.
Vinny.
Eat it. It's clear. It's from a can. Just open that stuff up.
Take some time and warm it up.
But it doesn't need to be warmed up. It doesn't.
Put it in the microwave. You don't need to get a pot dirty. You could just put it in the microwave.
I mean, listen, I like Cold Chef Boyardee, so that's me.
What a sad story. Okay. AFC South, Houston Texans, the favorite to win the AFC South, plus 110. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I'll tell you who I like. The
I know
Jacksonville Jaguars.
you love the Jaguars. I think in your
I
head, the
love
Jaguars
the
are going to Super Bowl.
Jaguars.
You've
No,
talked
I
about
don't think
that
they're going to the
Jaguar
Super
Bill
Bowl.
game forever.
They beat the Bills up. They slapped them around, and the Bills were not the same, and
That's
maybe will never be the same.
I like the
They
Titans in that division.
No, I don't like the Titans in that division.
I
The
like this
Titans
whole bald that all the coaches are bald headed. I think it's a fraternity of bald headed men. I think the Titans are going to be really good this year.
plus 800. The Titans are to win that division. If you believe in that, you can make some money. Indy plus 380. I don't like that. I
Indy's a
think
joke.
I think Indy might be a fourth place team. I think they're going to have injury issues. I think they're going to have
Indy's always what they are.
they've
They
got
just
some
think they are.
talent, but boy. Okay, AFC West, Kansas City plus 160. Kansas City's got a plus sign next to it. What does that make you do? Does
It
that make you
doesn't
get your
me-
wallet out?
No, because I think Kansas City's going to be good, but I think the Chargers are going to be better.
Yeah, don't sleep on those Chargers.
What are
They
they?
got a
What are
new plus 190,
Okay.
just behind the Chiefs. Denver plus
I think your boy is
225.
gonna. I think your boy is gonna renovate. Is gonna that offense is gonna be ready this year.
No, 100%. McDaniels.
He's a great
Listen,
offensive mind.
he's going to get it done.
He will.
Listen, we realized when he left, what we're gonna realize this season with him gone from Miami is that he put a gleaming, shiny coat of paint on a outhouse, on a
Yeah.
shit box, and was able to do it being hamstrung by his GM over and over again. I
100%.
think we're gonna see some real fireworks from the Los Angeles Chargers. And, the other Harbaugh is a real coach. Don't forget that he's a real coach, that his resume is immaculate.
Yes. Just as
He took him a long time to win at Michigan, but I think that just goes to show how hard it is to win in
and
college.
he's a winner. Anywhere he's been, he's won.
I mean, and he stuck around until he won at Michigan, and boy,
Sure.
it didn't look like it was going to happen. Okay. The Raiders are plus 2,000. The Dolphins are plus 4,000. That tells you how bad the Dolphins are going to be this year because the Raiders are going to suck. Okay. Philadelphia. Now we're to the NFC East. We've talked about it. Philadelphia is the favorite, plus 115. I don't love them. Dallas plus 235. We've seen some consistency on offense in Dallas we haven't seen for a long time. They've added some pieces on defense. I think the defense is going to be spicy. They need contributions from some draft picks. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Dallas this year. I just, I don't like Dak. To me, Dak is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's a stepping stone quarterback. He's been there too long. They should have moved on from Dak a while ago. They paid him and then they couldn't move on. And it's just a bad scene. They don't know how to manage their money in Dallas. The Giants plus 600. I think if you're going to bet on a team that's predicted to finish fourth in their division, it is the New York Football Giants.
And I think in that division, just my hot take, I think the Giants and the Commanders will be the top two teams in that division.
Mm-hmm. The Commanders, they got some work to do.
They work with that kid, they have the.
They don't have a ton of talent. Listen, Terry McLaurin, he can't do it himself.
No,
they need another receiver
for sure. But they had a really good draft as well. They picked up that kid. They had a great draft.
Okay, NFC North. Detroit Lions are predicted to finish in first place. Thoughts on that right away?
I don't believe it'll be the Lions. I believe the Bears will run it back.
The Bears are slated as third in the NFC North. The Packers are second. I'll tell you what, Malik Willis is not in Green Bay. He's a Miami football Dolphin. So Jordan Love's got to stay healthy. Oh boy. The Packers, listen, great coach, good team. They need luck to finish first place in that division. The Lions haven't been able to do it since their deep run 2 years ago. Chicago's plus 305. I think that's probably the best value for a third place team. I think that they'll probably win that division.
What are the Vikings? I'm just curious.
Plus 510.
Plus 510. I mean, listen, the Vikings have an outside shot with Murray.
I think so too. It's so funny. There's an article today in the Athletic, JJ McCarthy or Kyler as the starting quarterback. To me, that fight's over.
Yeah,
It's Kyler. You got to be kidding me. Kyler's
Justin
one of the greatest
Jefferson.
athletes I've ever seen.
And Justin Jefferson's going to want Murray. You want him to be happy. It's Murray.
100%. Okay, just real quick, NFC South. Here's another one. Tampa Bay plus 164. They seem to get there every year. Not last year. New Orleans plus 265. That's some interesting stuff. Carolina plus 310. Carolina made the playoffs last year, lost in the first round. Atlanta plus 425.
It's Atlanta. Atlanta.
Atlanta's got to do a lot right. New coach. I mean, they are so talented. Bijan's holding out, I think.
No, he's holding in. I read an article that Bijan and Gibbs are holding in, which basically they're going to play. They're in a contract dispute, but they're coming into camp.
Right. They're wearing khakis on the sideline. NFC West. Here we go. Los Angeles Rams plus 100.
Take it. That's the only favorite. It's the only favorite that's going to win the division.
I mean, what's crazy is that's the only favorite that's going to win a division. Vinny, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Seattle plus 205, the Super Bowl champs. Oof, that's tough. I'll tell you what. What's tougher is for San Francisco to be in that division. Plus 305. I don't see it. I see them finishing third. No matter how you slice it, I see them finishing third. I wish Shanahan well. The specifics of that car accident seem absolutely horrible. Arizona Cardinals plus 10,000. Plus 10,000.
They have no shot, so might as well be plus $1 million.
Just wild stuff. I mean, every year when training camp starts and it's, the end of July, like it's the middle, it's the center of the summer, and you get this glimpse at football. Doesn't it make you feel great?
Oh, it's
are you just like, let me start looking at some fantasy players. Let me take a look at
gambling, everything.
It's just the best. I'm so excited about football season. I can't even tell you. Man, it's gonna be a fun year. Honestly, right now, let's say the Rams have injury issues and they're not the juggernaut that everybody anticipates that they're going to be, because they are the favorite for the Super Bowl by a margin.
Yes.
Who do you like outside of the Rams?
Outside of the Rams, it would be the Bears. I'm going to be honest with you. I think.
Wow.
I believe in Ben Johnson. I just think he is that good of a coach. He made the Lions. To me, the reason the Lions were good was Ben Johnson. No offense to anyone else on the Lions. And I think the Bears are going to be up there. And I got to be honest. I think if we're looking, I think the Bengals.
Wow.
Joe Burrow came out and said something a few weeks ago. And he said this Bengals season so far has felt like that season at LSU. And I'm going to trust Joe Burrow when he says something.
I like Joe. Let me just say, I was taking a peek at the prediction markets today, and I was really surprised to see. Let me see if I can find it, because it's a lot of things open here. I was looking at what had the most money on it. What could you bet on that has the most money on it?
In terms of Start
See,
the Super Bowl?
great thing of no, the great thing about the prediction markets is they put how much money has been wagered total for each topic. So, you know, the top topics are, political. You know,
Okay.
Democratic presidential nominee, $164 million has been wagered on it.
So wild.
Um, the second place uh, Los Angeles mayor winner, $87 million has been wagered. Then you get to the Rocket Classic, this weekend, the golf tournament,
Okay.
66 million. Then you get down to presidential election winner, $55 million.
Okay.
Republican nominee, $54 million. NFL champion, $50 million. Number one market that I'm looking at right now is the Los Angeles Rams. Who's number two, do you think?
Who's
It's
number
actually
two?
a tie.
I mean, it's still, unfortunately, it's going to be the Bills.
You know your stuff, Vinny. It's the Bills tied
Bills and
with
the
the
Eagles.
Seattle.
Oh,
But
Seattle.
the Bills have been right there the whole time, which is wild to me because they haven't been able to get, even that close.
Well, people love Josh Allen, and I get that, but the Bills have just proven. I mean, if you look at their offseason and you take away Josh Allen but you look at what they've done, they're heading for a really disappointing season.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, right now we have weeks to talk about it. The Super Bowl is going to be back in LA, and I think it's going to be a rematch. I think it's going to be Rams Bengals again.
Rams Bengals.
That's my first thought.
So let me go back. I was looking for the NFL MVP. I'm struggling to find it in the absolute litany of opportunities.
Allen must be number one, right?
Yeah, but guess who's number two?
Number two, Burrow.
It is.
I'm telling you.
How crazy is that?
Joe Cool wants it this year.
What did they? Yeah, somebody has a time machine. How could you pick Burrow, who hasn't stayed healthy in years? How could you pick him second?
Because I think just by someone of his stature saying, you know what, this year for the Bengals, it feels like that LSU year. And if you go back and you look at that LSU year, you're like, okay, I'm going to trust the guy who has won in college and has won throughout his NFL career yet, just not the big one. If he's saying this is the team that reminds me the most of LSU, I'm going to go all in on Joe Cool.
It's interesting stuff. Well, it's been about an hour. We're about to hit our time. I saw The Odyssey on Friday.
Best movie in 25 years.
I said to you, since you saw Legally Blonde, was that the last movie 25 years ago?
No, but seriously, the only movie I can think of is
Lord of the Rings?
No Country for Old Men.
Oh, interesting. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
No Country.
No Country and There Will Be Blood are two of the best movies of all time. And it's funny that they filmed at the exact same time in the same location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, I saw it. I enjoyed it. It was a great theatrical experience. It is a movie that you want to see in the theater. But if you have a huge TV at home, you're going to enjoy it there as well. It's just a movie that stays with you. You really think about it because the amount of things that take place, I mean, it's a long movie. It doesn't feel long.
Oh, no. And to me,
it goes fast.
And let me tell you, Matt Damon, what a performance. And I'm gonna echo something that Bill Simmons said. It was the perfect role for Matt Damon.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. And he was right when Simmons was saying, no one else, Matt Damon's amazing, but it made sense for Matt Damon to be a character that would make some mistakes along the way. Like, he wasn't the perfect hero.
Yeah.
You know, And I don't know if other characters that he would have portrayed, like Christian Bale or any of those guys, could have portrayed it as Matt Damon did.
I think Christian Bale could have done it. I think Matt Damon was great, and I think he'll probably win the Oscar. But the movie isn't it's about what happens to him and around him. The whole
Yeah.
time. It's not necessarily. You don't even need to see his reaction. You don't even need to see his responses. His anything that he does. It's really the story is the accumulation of things that happen around him, and for somebody to hold that part without taking over
Mhm.
is a specific actor. And I think you're right. I think it is Damon is the guy. I think Christian Bale could have done a good job, but it's a tempered performance with a couple of moments where you really do there is some flair, there is some emoting, there's some acting.
John
But
Leguizamo
man,
was great too, by the way.
oh, great. Really, really good. I
Really
love
good.
Leguizamo.
I
You
love
know,
him.
I saw him in Manhattan one time. I was just walking down the street. I was like, and like he was just like looking at his phone, and I was walking. There was people around, and we both looked, and I at the same time I was like, "Hey," and he's like, "How you doing?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "Great." I was like, "Have a great night." And he goes, "You too." It was just like, what a great New York, great New York moment. You know,
Hey,
um,
what do you think the
you know.
Yankees are going to do trade deadline? Before we go.
I don't know. The Yankees quietly have an excellent bullpen,
They
which is
do.
crazy because I've been complaining about the bullpen all year. I would love for them to add two bullpen arms. But they're going to do they're going to get what they can get,
If you get
and
Mason Miller, would you take on Bogart's contract? If
I don't know, man.
I mean, you got to go all in this year, man. It's right there for the Yankees.
Gotta go all in. But what you're doing is, I mean, Yamamoto is he's devastating, is what he is. And for the Yankees to go into the postseason with Garrett Cole and um, I
Cammy
mean,
Schmidt.
and Schlittler, I just don't like. I just don't. It'll be interesting to see what happens
Okay.
because it was reported that there have been calls about acquiring Skubal,
I mean,
and
again,
I mean,
we don't know what the
if they
cap's
get
going to be
Skubal,
next year. You go for it this year.
they got to hit. If they get Skubal, all they have to do is hit.
Yeah.
If they get Skubal, all they have to do is hit. The guesswork is gone.
Yes.
So can they hit? I think the most likely situation is they're going to add a catcher. It probably won't be the catcher that everybody's talking about. And boy, tough break for Shea
Yeah.
Langoliers. Because I honestly I think he probably would have been a Yankee.
I agree with you.
I think he would have gotten a big contract as a New York Yankee. Even though nobody was really talking about it, I really think. Anyway, I think I have to say, if this trade deadline doesn't go really well for the Yankees,
Mm-hmm.
I will be pessimistic about their postseason outcome.
Okay, because I gotta be honest. I know we were talking about some bets. I have some big bets that I believe in.
Let's go. Let's hear it. Even without Bellinger?
Even without Bellinger, I think the Yankees minus 125 to win the division is a great bet.
Oh,
I also think the Texas Rangers at minus 125 is a great bet.
Yeah. So that was what I was looking at too. The Texas Rangers minus 125.
And then I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go two World Series picks: Yankees plus 500 and the Brewers plus 950.
Okay, so interesting stuff. This is to make the World Series or to
To
win the
win.
World Series?
To win. Yankees plus 500, Brewers plus 950. And then I have one other weird one. I love the Marlins at plus 610 to make the playoffs.
Me too. Love it.
Make the
Love
playoffs.
that bet. Love that bet. I mean, this is some long-term stuff that we're looking at. Uh my bet for the day. So the Yankees play tonight against the White Sox. It's Schlittler against Martin. And I'm going to take the Yankees tonight. The Yankees aren't hitting, uh,
They're winning.
but they're winning. And they're getting runs from strange places. You know, we haven't really talked about our home run derby in a while, with good reason because it's gotten kind of sad.
Well, I think
But
do I have anyone left that's still alive?
yeah, I mean, Langoliers is probably out for the year. He's got 23 home runs. Judge has 17. He's not going to be back
No,
probably until the postseason.
no.
Kurtz has 21, Soto has 21, and Suarez has 14. It's just a rough go. My team is doing better, but not a lot better. Only 6 home runs better. Cal Raleigh, not hitting great, not hitting for average, negative WAR. He's got 11 home runs on the year. He's battled injury. Um, Shohei, 23 home runs. Schwarber, 33. He hasn't hit one in a couple weeks. Caminaro, 29. And then Guerrero Jr. has 6 home runs still.
That's wild.
And battled Yankees catcher Austin Wells, who they can't wait to stop starting every day, has 7. I mean, Guerrero's hitting like 260 something, but I mean, it's just wild.
I've never seen someone lose his power this quick. That's concerning for the Blue Jays.
I mean, it's a huge concern.
We don't know it.
He's got to be, right? He's got to be.
I would hope so.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Big thanks to Art Stapleton. As
Thank you,
always,
Art.
huge thanks to Chris Dunn,
Thank you, Chris.
our Lord Savior. And who else should we thank? Anybody? My wife?
Yes. Thank you, wife. Thanks, Matt. Who else?
Thanks,
Anyone
Maddie.
else?
No, that's everybody. Yeah, that's it.
And also, what can we maybe get Juan Soto on? I want to know what Jesus won. Have you seen that Met shirt?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I think he won the hearts and minds. I haven't seen it. No,
it's Met colors.
Nobody's wearing Mets paraphernalia, Vinny. I don't know if you've been around the city of New York lately, but everybody's pretending that the baseball season is over. Every Mets fan.
I mean, I just bet the Yankees to win the World Series, so that's how much my fandom has gone out the drain.
That's wild. All right. The money's. We're gonna end on that note. The money's there. That's gonna do it for this week's episode of If I Was a Betting Man. See you next week, folks. We're still live.